What's your name and where are you currently based?
My name is Susie Garrick, and I'm currently based in Santa Fe, Texas.
Beautiful. So Susie, prior to joining WCA, what would you say was the biggest challenge or issue or struggle in your life, and how was that affecting you?
The biggest struggle before I came here to WCA for me really was self-sabotage, procrastination, paralysis, and really that was all a result of my fear of other people's reaction or behavior, and even my perception of their reaction or behavior. I would get so immersed in that it just shut me down. And then failure, and then confirmation bias that everything they said in the first place or what I thought they thought was true.
Wow, that's a great self-awareness. So on that note then, I know that you traveled far.
Yes.
You know, it's not been an easy journey. Did you have any concerns or any doubts about joining WCA or coming all this way? And if you did, what motivated you to still come?
Okay, as far as concerns and doubts about making this big trip, initially the price tag, but actually the things that I learned from Tim in the session helped me overcome that pretty rapidly. And then when I did my interview with Liam, it became crystal clear that I must do this. I must do this. And through the time, you know, while we were preparing and everything, you know, there was a little resistance here and there, not quite knowing when I came out of this what I was going to do. And then the like month to 2 months before it, I actually got sick with a cold that lasted 12 days. 3 times. But by then I was so convinced that I had to be here that I was willing to do almost anything to get myself plane ready. And I told my friends, I'm going to be on that plane no matter what it takes.
Well, that's the commitment. That's a world-class commitment. So now then, you made it here, Susie. Your experience last 4 days over here. What would you say made you the happiest or maybe surprised you the most about being here at WCA?
Okay. Well, the thing that surprised me the most and, you know, kind of what I've thought of being here so far, when I came here, I did not know what to expect, but I knew it was going to be big. And I also had a feeling that, well, part of me kind of didn't even want to think about returning home afterwards. And I think I was in a negative and miserable enough state that I was like maybe 85% convinced that I had to change something big, like quit work. But I was 100% convinced that I wasn't going to do that because it's been my whole life, it's my whole identity, and I was so into scarcity that I had to hold on to the sure thing. And then I went through a crisis, really, where I had to face up to just how much disdain and disgust I had for the parts of my life that I was trying to run away from. And so really what is most exhilarating about being here is that Tim is teaching me a way through that. Because once I had that grief, knowing that I had to say goodbye to my old life, I didn't have a map anymore. And so over the last day and a half, Tim has given me a map. And he's even shown me where the rocky places are and where the water is and all of that. And all of that seems to be evolving in a way that feels like it's created for me. Like I could be the only other person in the room and it'd be worth it because he's like making some major strides in cleaning up my psyche.
Wow, I love that. So now then, tell me what has been the biggest breakthrough or aha moment or realization that you had in the past 4
Yes.
days?
Well, one of the biggest breakthroughs actually was not only that I had disdain and disgust for my former life and the kind of the consequences of it, but that there was something I could actually do about it. And then as I learned more and got feedback from the peers here, I actually figured out that I was a really good person to do it. I was. And a second breakthrough really came this morning talking to a team member, and that was this kind of persistent resistance, like having my foot really planted in my future self, or really what's now self that's going to grow, but I still had my big toe in my old life. So I got some clarifying to do about that, but golly, the information is just pouring to me in a way that it's just making sense. And the other thing is it's so stepwise. Like if I hadn't hurt as bad as I did the grief night, then there is no way I could have appreciated what happened the next day and even today.
Wow, I love that. I love that for you. Honestly,
thank you. This is amazing.
Well, you are amazing because I feel like every single person, you guys, I said this to Christina, you were meant to be in this group for a reason, because whether you know that or not, and you probably felt it, you connect with people and you hear things from each other that actually make sense, and it makes huge difference. And your energy makes huge difference too for everyone, including us as a team.
That means so much. You know, I really have grown to love everybody here. Yeah. And when we did our exercise yesterday about acknowledging people, I really feel like we've bonded as a family so tightly that any one person could have done that for any one other person. Like we really, really know each other, and we really appreciate each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So on that note then, for people that are on the fence now, maybe they're going through something difficult, maybe they feel like they want to do it, but they held back, whether, you know, that's cost or they're shy or whatever, what would you say to that person that's currently on the fence, whether they should do this or not?
For the people who are on the fence, my advice, well, first let me just tell you that I know what I'm talking about, because it wasn't the first time that I heard about WCA that I decided to throw my hat in the ring. The first couple of times I thought, that is so cool. But that's not a me thing. That's not a me thing. You know, I'm still trying to digest the LMA stuff and then the SMA stuff. And so over, you know, even a couple of years actually of repeating the stuff, somehow his explanation for WCA sunk in a different way. And as soon as that happened, the train left the station. So my advice to people who are on the fence is, you know, if the universe is speaking to you, you must say yes, because there's no way in a million years you can imagine what will unfold. It's worth the money, it's worth the time, it's worth the effort, it's worth rearranging your whole life, it's worth having people support you, even if you need to talk them into it. And then if you can't talk them into it, just leave them behind. Leave them behind and let things percolate there, knowing that you're going to go back a better person.